A lot of these titles here are popular BookTok books. So I have got the old covers, which is so nice. So I would describe this book as very similar to ACOTAR, but just without the torture. Apparently it's just like really like cheesy, but in like the best way possible. This book here, if you want it in New Zealand, you have to order it because our bookstores don't sell it. I get scared to read thrillers, but every time I read a thriller, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to read more. As soon as I read the back, I was like, oh, I am intrigued. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. So for this video, as you guys can see by the title, it is going to be another book haul. These books here have all been thrifted, so whether that is like physically in an op shop or on Facebook Marketplace. I feel like you can find so many good books and so many popular books secondhand as well, and most of the time I will try and find the books that I want secondhand first before I go and buy them brand new. And this just goes to show how many you can find that are popular secondhand. A lot of these titles here are popular BookTok books. We do have one book as well in this particular haul that I have also read, so that is good. I want to be a bit more cautious of how many books I am adding to my TBR because I have got a lot of books that are unread on my bookshelf. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. There is a mixture of fantasy, thriller, general fiction, romance, science fiction, and more like holiday-esque kind of books. So we will start off with fantasy. The first book that I have to talk about is this one here. So this one is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig, and I have heard that this is basically a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses, which I really enjoyed watching that movie as a kid. I watched like the Barbie version of it, so when I heard that it was in a story, that just sounds incredible to me. This one is a YA fantasy as well. This one was a Facebook Marketplace purchase, and I think this one was $10. Yes, $10, and the seller was local in Auckland. The next two books I'm going to do together because one of the books I don't yet have the copy of because I purchased it from a Hawke's Bay seller, and so my parents have got it. I go to Hawke's Bay tomorrow, so I just thought it was easier than getting it shipped up here. But they are the last two books that I needed in the Throne of Glass series. So I have got Queen of Shadows and Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. So I have got the old covers, which is so nice. So now I have fully completed the set. This is the fifth book, and then Tower of Dawn I think is the sixth book, and then Empire of Storms is the seventh, and then Kingdom of Ash is the eighth, I think. I'm not quite sure of the reading order yet. It's a YA fantasy series with an assassin basically, so very intriguing. This one is a thick book, and I'm pretty sure Tower of Dawn is quite thick as well. This one is, yeah, 648 pages. Queen of Shadows was $10 from Facebook Marketplace, and Tower of Dawn was $21 on Facebook Marketplace. That one is the most expensive book that I got in this haul, but it also was the last one that I needed to complete the set, and it's been really hard to thrift those old covers because I've already got a lot of the other books in the series. A lot of times people don't want to break up the series. Again, we will stick with YA, and it is the only book in this haul that I have read, and that is Hunted by Megan Spooner. So I read this book for the first time last year and absolutely loved it. It is a YA fantasy standalone as well, which is fantastic, and it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So I would describe this book as very similar to ACOTAR, but just without the torture and without as many magical creatures. Like in this, it is very much just Beauty and the Beast. If you like ACOTAR, I feel like you'll like this, but it's just like without the torture. But you do also get a few chapters from the Beast's point of view as well. They are a little bit shorter, but in saying that, I really enjoyed this book because if you don't know, the first ACOTAR book is like a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. This one just says a beauty deadlier than the beast. This one is also a hardback, which is really nice to have. I have been wanting a copy of this since I finished it. So I originally got it out from the library, read it, loved it, and it popped up one time on Facebook and it was $10, I think. Yeah, it was $10, and so I thought, perfect, I will grab it. It's a little bit high stakes, but not like as high stakes as ACOTAR is. And then the last fantasy book that I've got is a book within a series, and it is part of an adult fantasy series, and that is this one here. So this one is Mistborn Secret History, a novella by Brando Sando. So I haven't read the Mistborn series. My husband is wanting to read the first book because we've got the first book, but Rachel Catherine recently read the first Mistborn book, which is The Final Empire, and she really enjoyed it. So I saw this little novella and thought I would get it. This one was actually free because it was a library discard. Again, it's also a hardback, which is nice to have. This is a companion story to the original Mistborn trilogy. I recently read Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, and I really thoroughly enjoyed that. So I am excited to read more of his books. Next up, we will do a couple of romance books. This one is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. So I had saved a lot of these on Facebook Marketplace, and then I saw someone who was doing a big declutter of all of her books for $2 each, and this was one of them, and this was the cheapest one that I had come across. I grabbed it for $2. I'm so excited to get to this one. Again, I know that Lynn Painter is a well-loved author, and again, I've heard Rachel Catherine talk about her, so I'm really excited to go into this book here. So this one, I think it's just like a high school romance book. Second book, which is nothing like the movies, just got released. Apparently it's just like really like cheesy, but in like the best way possible, so very intrigued. And then the last romance book that I have, again, was another library discard, and I had had this on my list to get for a while, and this book here, if you want it in New Zealand, you have to order it because our bookstores don't sell it. So this one is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I feel like this one, again, is one of those like OG book talk books that like a lot of people have read. This one just says love wasn't on her to-do list. Next up, I will do a thriller. So I, again, have picked up one that is like one of those OG book talk books, and that is this one here. So this one is We Were Never Here by Andrea Bart. So this one wasn't necessarily on my radar, but I found it in the op shop. I found it in the Red Cross in White Owl, which is on the North Shore. It was only $3, and as soon as I read the back, I was like, oh, I am intrigued and I want to see how it goes. I'm not sure if this is adult thriller or YA. Emily is on holiday with her best friend Kristen in the stunning mountains of Chile. They're having the time of their lives until on the last night of the trip, Emily enters their hotel suite to find it covered in blood. Kristen claims a backpacker attacked her. She shouted but no one heard. She struggled but he was too strong. She had no option but to kill him. And with no evidence of the assault, Emily must help her hide the body. Back home, Emily tries to forget what happened that night. But when Kristen shows up for a surprise visit, Emily is forced to confront what they did. The more Kristen tries to keep Emily close, the less Emily trusts her. And as Emily feels the walls closing in on their secret, she begins to ask herself, does she really know her closest friend? Very, very intriguing. It literally like gives me goosebumps every time I read the back. So I imagine it will be very fast paced, and yeah, I really hope that I like this. If you're in like a bit of a slumpy mood, reading a thriller tends to get you out of it because they're always like very like adrenaline inducing, fast paced. You're like constantly thinking. I get scared to read thrillers, but every time I read a thriller I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to read more. We'll do a science fiction / dystopian book. So this one again has been on my list for quite a while. This is the first book in a trilogy. So this one is Jade City by Fonda Lee, the Greenbone Saga. So that is made up of 3 books. So you've got Jade City, Jade War, and Jade Legacy. This one just says family is duty, magic is power, honor is everything. I heard about this series from Rachel Catherine, and all I know about this world is that jade is kind of like, it's like a currency. The more jade you have, the better off you are in this society, and the more you have, the more you want to keep accumulating, and the less you have, like the less wealthy and stuff that you are. So it kind of feels like it's like a take on money and like the concept of money, and like jade can be like used like money, or it can be used like a drug or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but I'm very intrigued to see what I think. This one here I did get from the library, so again it was a free discard. Next up we will do a couple of general fictions. So this next book here was a gift from my sister. So my sister used to own this book, but she read it, and she's the type of person that like reads a book once and then passes it on. But I had this book on my list to read because I again heard Rachel Catherine talk about it, so I wanted to give it a go. And that is Convenience Store Woman by Sakia Murata. It's super duper short. It's like less than 200 pages, 163 pages, and it's just about this old woman who works in a convenience store. Yeah, she's 36, she's never had a boyfriend. She's been in the same job at the convenience store for 18 years. It's just like her like enjoying herself, but also like with the added like influence of her parents and her friends being like, how come she's never married, like never dated, yada yada yada. So yeah, I just think it'll be a short and sweet, easy read. And then the last general fiction that I have, again, was a library discard, so it was free. I think it's also got a subplot of mystery. This one is Ace of Spades by Sandra Owens. It says, the greatest danger of all is falling in love. Nate Gentry has been a rock for his two younger brothers since the day their mum walked out and left them with their abusive father. Now that they've grown up, he's watched Alex and Court fall in love and settle down, but Nate isn't made for romance. He keeps his relationships casual, and getting casual with his partner is a fantasy he can't shake. Taylor Collins has feelings for Nate too, and though they run hot, her best friend on the team is strictly off limits until a spark in his eyes says go for it. But reaching out could prove to be a bad move now that they're working closer together than ever and on the most dangerous case of their careers. An investigation into a brutal series of murders is stirring up bad memories for Taylor, and neither she nor Nate can imagine how close to home it's going to hit. When it does, Nate will risk everything, including his heart, to keep Taylor safe. Just sounds very interesting. And then the last two books that I have for this haul are both holiday like related books. So again, I feel like this haul may be a little bit on the shorter side, but hopefully you guys don't mind. They are two witchy books here. I definitely want to get to these next Halloween. They're both by Erin Sterling. So I have the X-Hex and the Kiss Curse. So the Kiss Curse is a sequel to the X-Hex. I think it's like a companion duology where like obviously you got your main characters in this one here, and then you follow like side characters in this one here, I think. I had heard a lot of people talk about the X-Hex as like a perfect witchy Halloween read. I also love the cover. I think the cover is really cute. So I actually got both of these from the same seller for $5. So yeah, those are literally the last two books that I had to share with you guys in this haul. I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing all of the books that I have thrifted recently. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, then please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Please make sure to turn on the notifications and check out my social media. It's always linked down below in the description box. If you guys want to watch more book related videos, I have an entire playlist called Reading on my channel where I have like wrap-ups, I have hauls, I have like reading vlogs, recommendations, things like that. I will leave that playlist down below so you guys can go and watch some more if you wish. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books and what your thoughts were. Obviously no spoilers, and if you want to read any of these books after watching this video, then please let me know that as well. And that is everything, so I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!